need to switch cameras. Because you're on the computer instead of.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not muted on what you had up through.
Is it working?
You're definitely not muted, Lori.
Okay, we're muted on YouTube now. And now we'll be muting on here.
Started. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. A second.
And a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And to approve the minutes
Second.
and a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting. Any further additions or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So this says Jenny's gonna be here. Is she here today? She on?
Oh, you did?
No.
Yeah, you printed the one that,
I printed the wrong one.
oops,
No, Jenny is not here tonight.
Oh, okay.
everything else kind of.
Well, everything's not very good then. Our computers aren't working, our minutes are,
Maybe I even printed.
agenda.
Number 6 at the top, but that says next, the budget.
Okay, Lori, at least that's in the right line.
I doubt if I even printed the right minutes and you've already signed them, but.
Good.
Okay, so the first thing on the agenda is our budget adoption.
We'll open our budget adoption meeting. Is there anybody in the audience that has any concerns or wishes to speak out about our budget for next year?
I'll just give a brief.
Is there, yes, go ahead,
Give a
go
brief
through,
overview.
give a brief overview.
The, adoption of the budget is $4,657,000. Our maximum levy was half the amount that the state said we could have it. So,
Well, anybody in the audience or Zoom have anything to say about our budget for the ensuing year? Anybody have any concerns or questions about our budget for 2026? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget.
I move to approve the budget.
second,
Got a motion and a second to approve our budget for 2026. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now close the,
please sign that,
Meeting.
check the A or nay spot. Please. By your name.
see what's name.
Don't forget to sign it.
Oh,
The sign.
so many things.
No, I'm really needy.
Do I have to date any?
No, ready for me to move on.
Let's take it done signing.
We're almost there. We can wait another thing.
Yeah, let me check a second. It'll take long. That way we're full concentration on what we're gonna talk about. Thank you. Okay.
And next we have bank reconciliation report for September. We're all emailed out. I hope you all got a chance to look at them. I balanced things, Kendall checked it, now council just approves.
Does anybody have any questions over our September bank reconciliation?
I make a motion to approve the September bank reconciliation.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve bank reconciliation. Any further discussion? What you do?
No, just that.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next thing on my list, we got a recommendation or a request to include the junior achievement in 2026. We've already given them money this year. Usually we give $100.
I move to. We need $100 to achieve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to give junior achievement $100 for next year, 2026. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We got a flyer for the local institute academy virtual meetings for the Indiana League of Municipal Clerks and Treasurers. It's November 4th through 6th. I've already talked about it. We'll probably just close the office. It's half day on the 4th and 5th, and then pretty much from 9 to 3 on the 6th. And I'm going to register Amy Kendall in for all the classes.
Where's that at?
It's right here. It's virtual.
Oh, right
Just
here. Oh,
close the office
yeah.
and stay in here.
so
I'll let you know about that.
I'll entertain a motion to allow them to do that.
So moved.
Second. And a motion is to allow you to cut the offices from the 4th and the 6th for at least a half a day while you do your virtual. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, yeah. Amy and Kendall and I watched, I think, 3 demonstrations of the software upgrade that I told you about the last meeting. There's some things that we still have questions about. I did ask them, and eventually, yes, we will have to do this if we stay with this company. So it's be prepared for some sticker shock. So the first part of it is an annual maintenance agreement, and that annually will cost $30,770. And that's anytime we call them, they help. They don't charge, they don't bill for every call. They just help with anything we need.
Who do you call often?
We do.
Okay.
The next one is, the next charge
Oh,
to
okay.
switch over the software, or no, for the training, the first year of maintenance and all the things that go with it is $65,345. That quote is good until, and they said 120 days, but they also told me if we commit to it by the end of the year, they will honor the price. If we wait till after the first of the year, we have to pay an additional $50,000 for switching it all over to the software. So they're giving a deal right now. It's a lot of money, and I know it's a lot of money. This company, BSNA, has purchased voice systems. That's who we use, Keystone Voice Systems. We can keep it the way it is for now. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, but they're gonna make you do it sooner or later. This does have a timekeeping module on it. It's not like a time clock where you sign in, but each employee will have their own login, and they have to go in and log how many hours they work every day. And then at the end of the pay period, the supervisor signs off and it gets emailed to the office. And then also the employees have their own portal. You guys would all have your own portal. You can go in and see how much you made. You can see your W-2. You can't see each other's, but you can see your own. Okay, same with employees. They can see their pay history, what they're being taken out, how they set up their taxes, how much their insurance is, all that stuff. They can make changes if they need to, I think. And then with the fund part of it, and it's, right now we have like 5 different programs. So now this will all be on one. It'll be stored in the cloud. If someone's out sick and somebody in the office doesn't know how to do something, they can log in from home, help them with whatever problem they're having, and just go on with their day. This will also, when we're putting in invoices like we do for every meeting, the supervisors will need to go in and they can check their invoices and make sure they approve their invoices before the meeting. They will say yes or no. And then we get paid like that. It's really a good program. There's some things in it that on the utility side that Amy and Kendall are a little bit leery about, but I think we're gonna have another demonstration in a couple weeks. They'll give us as many demonstrations as we want. This includes training. So we have so many days built in for training. It's $1,100 a day for training. So if we don't use all the days they set aside for us, price goes down by $1,100 a day. So
How much of an upgrade we gonna have to do in all of our locations in order for our employees to plug into this?
I don't think anything, because it's just, all it is it's a website that you go to. So they just get on, as long as they have a computer, and everyone does, and they're human. You just get on your computer and goes to a website. Now, as far as the employees, there's an app. You put it on your phone, and you can get in and put your hours in on your phone every day. I don't know, and the supervisors have to sign off on that every week before it comes to me, so let's say, I'm filling out my timesheet and I put down that I worked 8 hours and I really was on vacation that day. I mean, anybody can make a mistake. The supervisor can change that or, fix it. It keeps track of all their PTO time, so they would be able to see that in real time. This also includes a thing they're calling BSNA invoice online. So it's a lot like what we're using now with the invoice cloud. This is the part that the girls aren't too pepped up on, but we can stay with invoice cloud. And if we do that, that'll take this down a couple $1,000s. How much it take it down $1,700 a year. And then, some training time. And what else? Probably some management time. You pay it in 3 different payments. You pay $1,825 first, and then whatever we decide to do, and then at the end, if we don't use all the training, they take it off the end. I will say, right now, with Keystone, last year for our maintenance agreement, we paid $15,000. So it is double. But we were paying a significant amount already that we might not even been aware of. So that's just to keep the software upgraded. They do all tax calculations. They do anything that's federal government, keep you up on all those regulations, anything else. So it's not something I decided tonight. We still want to go through some of the,
Do we have $100,000 someplace laying around?
I feel like you said the 65,345, it included your first year of maintenance.
it does,
And
it does,
then,
but, right, so.
so our year one is only
Right.
65.
Mhm.
100,000. We got 100,000 laying around.
I will have to go through our budget. What I'm hoping is there's something in this year's budget that we can put into, like, we're not gonna use, and that we can put into an encumbrance and carry it over to
We got a
next year.
rainy day.
The water department would pay some of it, the sewer department would have to pay some of it, but it depends on, how we want to do that. We do have rainy day money, we have feed it money, we have a lot of different things that we can do, but I just thought the closer we got to the end of the year, we can make a decision when I can see where we can pay it out of and encumber the money so we can use this year's money and not worry about.
I would be thinking hard on it because 50 grand more on top of this
Yeah.
is nothing to sneeze at. So
The other
we need
option
to
is
make our
I can
choices.
get some other quotes from other software companies.
I was just gonna ask, do we have any other options?
Yeah, we have other options, but a big change is gonna be this is gonna be a big change. If you get another company altogether, it's even gonna be bigger change. And I will absolutely look into it if that's what you want me to do, but I don't think it's gonna be much cheaper, to be honest with you. But
I don't
that
think
doesn't
it
mean
is.
I know everything either.
I think we should look into something else, just,
Just to have something to compare it with for
Yeah.
nothing else. Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
because that's a pretty big increase.
Well,
I think
yeah.
your funding could potentially be, because we talked about that or whatever. I mean, to bear in mind, I think when we looked at that, there's somewhere between 600,000 or 700,000 left in that SRF that, as you and I both know, that we talked with DLZ and they're going to work on getting that return. Part of that money was rainy day money. Part of that money that we put towards our portion to start with was also out of water. So that might come back in and give you theoretically your funding source from money we already spent that we came in under budget on the water plant. So that might be an area that you could look at.
And I agree with that. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention tonight. This is gonna have to be done sometime in the next, 10 years. probably like to be here to help the girls get through it because I understand things better than the new person's going to.
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to call some other software companies and look and see how much other places are. This is what we're used to. Doesn't mean we can't change,
yeah.
but you know, it is a good program. So,
In my vast experience with stuff, when you wait and wait and wait, because you got 10 years to do it, you're gonna pay even more
exactly.
in that next 10 years
You're
than what
gonna
you're
have-
paying right now. And
At
you might as well get it over with and bite the bullet. Get it done.
I just
Just-
like to have some time to figure out how we're gonna pay for it.
You got
without
2 months.
feeling- Yeah.
December's rolling fast.
They're like trying to change softwares when they've been using, what they're using is a disaster.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna spend twice as much for training.
Yeah.
Because they have to relearn after,
Yeah.
instead of just upgrading what they're at. And
There's a good point to that.
Yeah,
And we've used this company the whole time I've worked here, 33 years and a half.
And that's why I'm wondering if it wouldn't be better.
I feel like sooner
to
is better than
stay
later.
with what we have.
And the public,
And we'll do whatever you guys want to do. I doesn't,
I mean, although they'll allow you to continue to use Keystone, the Keystone support is gonna vanish. So it's gonna be tougher. I mean, they're gonna be focused on the new program, not the old, and that's what I told you. I mean, I think I mean, you have to
It's
change. I mean, I don't think you have a choice. I mean, you either change or you go to a different company, but staying where you are. I mean, I think you've got a small window beyond that. Then it becomes
November
very
1st, let's
I think for the
I was
taxpayer,
gonna say, yeah, like in 2 weeks.
did a total,
Discuss it
show
in the
the
office.
huge difference that
I'll look
this
at
is
this.
That gives you a month.
that seems reasonable to me too.
Absolutely.
You can look at other stuff.
Show
I said you wanted to find out how to pay for it. This is October, this is accurate, these are the right dates.
Okay, good.
You didn't know that.
I did something right.
Mhm. You did a lot right.
Okay, let's see, did I have anything else? Oh, Mark and I met with
Okay.
Oprah, and he's got some things to say about that. I'll just let him off that. Other than that, if I think of something else that I forgot about, I'll bring it up during open discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always something I might about.
Thank you. Anybody have anything else for Laura? Okay. Mark, what you got for us tonight?
They don't have anything extra for you, just put a few things on here,
Water running everywhere.
yep, flushing hydrants, we're over halfway done with that, everything's going good so far. The only ones we broke were from the last time we flushed, so nothing new was broke this time. We got the farm project hooked up,
Good.
so they're almost fully functional, they still have one more connection to make. And we also got, I think it was last year's Habitat House / building trades. I think that was last year. They're just now getting it finished up, so they're hoping to have somebody moved in by Thanksgiving. So. It's one on Walnut Street.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Walnut and Steuben.
Actually, it's too bad because of the door
Yeah,
faces
that's where the
towards the
drive
bed.
is.
Yeah.
So,
Have you assigned an address to that yet? Aren't you the address assigner? Oh, you are?
Yes.
You took over the address
made more
assigning?
sense.
Yeah, I did that. I think I had to do that clear back so that they could pull the building permit a year and a half ago.
Sweet.
Other than that, people just trying to get vacations. Now the busy season's kind of over, so
Negative on vacation.
yeah, just trying to make everything work with 2 to 3 guys constantly, so.
Anybody have anything for Mark? Thank you, Mark. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Where are you headed next?
Not sure yet.
Okay. Okay. Sue, got anything for us? Yeah, but report.
Not a whole lot other than what on the report. I just thought I'd touch up a little bit on the state test that we failed. We failed it for the last 3 years. So after a bunch of phone calls to IDEM and the EPA, which is the government part of it, we've discovered there's some discrepancies in the way IDEM wants us to do the test and the way the EPA wants us to do the test.
Say it ain't so.
So we figured out what we need to do to get the number they want, and then Idem's going to try to get that all changed by the time it comes around next year, so that everybody's on the same page. It's basically, the test in itself is basically just to see if our lab is using the proper procedures, equipment, and dilutions and whatever to get the results they want. So we weren't getting the result they wanted, so we figured out it's between the two companies don't have the same testing regulations, so
You know,
hopefully they'll get something figured out for
doesn't
next year.
surprise me at all.
I mean, you think other towns would be,
They have been. The item lady that we talked to, she said, well, it explains why everybody is failing this, it's
There we
the total
go.
nitrogen test, like multiple plants are failing it, and nobody could figure out why. Well, Craig couldn't sleep one night and figured out why we're failing it, so.
correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I just thought I'd update you on that. So we got new sample, received our new sample yesterday, so he's gonna run that retest. See if we can get the number they want. He's gonna hopefully pass it this time.
We owe him a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have anything for Sue? Thanks a lot for all
Yeah,
your
thanks.
work.
I'm
Tell
glad you said
everybody, good job. Street Department.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, so far, we're trying to spend millions of dollars. What do you need?
I got a big list. I don't really have anything special. Just doing the cleanup from corn school.
Yeah. Looks nice up there. You guys did a good job cleaning up after that.
Thank you. I'll let the guys know.
Yeah, please. It's always amazing on Sunday morning going down there and
It really is.
spotless,
I didn't expect. that.
everything. Yeah, it's just spotless, nothing. The trash is all gone, everything. The
Good.
streets are swept.
Good
It's
background.
just amazing. And I've been there a lot of years. It's always the same, so it's amazing, so,
They did a good job.
yeah, they did a good job.
But everything's on my report, so
How's our new trucks doing?
doing good.
They passed their first
Yep.
service thing, did they?
Yeah, they got the first service. They've got introduced to the leaf backs already.
Yeah.
So
That leaf
won't-
back working good after you had it repaired?
yeah, yep.
Good. Now we
We
gotta
did we did a lot of PMs on them to get them up to date and get them ready to go, so we don't hopefully have downtime during the busy season.
Good deal. Anybody have anything else for John?
Good report.
Good deal. Thank you. Tell
Have a good
everybody
night.
you said, good job.
Will do.
Amber Cemetery. Did anybody have anything for Amber? Read her report. They're busy out there. Nothing for Amber other than her report. Okay. Thank you, you guys, you're doing a good job. Park?
Nothing for the park.
Oh. I gotta put a smiley face next to this. Rich, you have anything tonight?
All I had was, you should have my report, I emailed you, and
Yep.
One school went well. We had only 3 medicals, 1 lost child, and a verbal fight that we got taken care of before it happened, so it was good weather and everything went well.
Oh,
Vendors all seem to be really happy,
Yeah,
so good. Nope, other than that, that's about it.
you guys look good in the parade.
Yeah. Well. So I think Friday night was the busiest. So,
Busiest of the week.
uh,
Friday night was the busiest of the week.
I think so.
Or you mean busiest it's ever been?
No,
No,
busiest
not
of the
ever.
whole week. And I thought Saturday was slow, and normally Saturday is packed out. And it was different, so, yeah.
I agree with that. It's Friday.
Friday was,
night.
what I thought was the most people there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's busy every night, but
I was really surprised Wednesday night. This is just my personal. I always hand out gift certificates to all the little kiddies for an elephant ear from the Masonic Lodge. No kiddies. I think we handed out 30.
Oh,
There
really?
were just a lot of adults down there walking around, but in the kiddie parade, there was just hardly anybody.
yeah, there wasn't as many as normal.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with that is that they do the beautiful baby and.
Yeah, the same,
It could be, yeah.
So
the same
we're
night,
gonna-
there was still a bunch of kids down there.
We're gonna try to change that.
Okay.
We're gonna meet, the committee's gonna meet and do some tweaking of the schedule and the parades because
Maybe
A lot of
should have went
people
down and
aren't-
handed them out to all the beautiful babies.
maybe you should.
No, I think our upgraded security stuff went better. We found some things that we thought we need to change for next year, but you know, that's how it goes. You keep working to be better at it, but, other than that, it went really well.
Yeah. Doesn't see any trouble.
Good crowd.
Anybody have anything else for Rich?
Thank you.
Jeremy? You got anything for us tonight? No paper in your hand, that's a good sign.
Seen the reports, I assume,
Yes.
B7. That's down a little bit from normal.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Not sure why that is, but we'll take it. Trying to update you on the last meeting for the truck that needed repaired. We wanted to try and get some more estimates. I can't get one guy to call me back, and person I'm supposed to talk to in Fremont, we just keep missing each other. So I don't have any further update on that. I'll just keep working on it, trying to get a couple of quotes somehow.
If they won't call you back, if you can't connect with them, that's a denial.
Okay.
So bring in your other quote.
Yeah.
And your 2 denials, the names of the people that won't talk to you.
Sounds good. It's not a rush deal, so I'll just.
Chase people for 2 years trying to get them to do something. If they can't communicate back with you in a
In
timely
twenty
manner,
twenty-five.
you know, we're not gonna worry about it. You're doing your best to get quotes. And if they're not gonna reply back and if they're not going to meet with you, always have an excuse. That's a denial.
Fair enough.
Okay,
I'll keep at it.
Yeah.
All I got.
all right.
Thanks.
Anything for me?
Anything for him?
You make sure your people that are doing the run sheets know that this is the end of your fiscal year, and I'll need that all caught up as soon as we can.
In November. He's,
I know he's
Been
doing,
on there,
he's
right?
doing great. This is his first year. I was gonna make sure.
he knows. Yep, sure.
Fire department looked great out there.
Trucks clean.
Yeah, trucks clean, sitting out places, guys walking all over. Look good.
Still loud.
Not that too. Yeah.
I've got one guy, he is just adamant that they can't blow their sirens in parades. He just goes wacko back there, so. Yeesh. But it's like I go. "The fire truck."
Kids like it when they blow.
Yes, they do.
They're out there trying to get them all to blow.
Oh, yeah, it's not him. What kid? Mark, what have you got? Anything that we haven't already talked about?
Yeah. Kind of what Sue touched on, we talked last time about needing to redo the VFDs at the wastewater plant. Just as a fluke, Lori said that we had met with the gentleman from Okra, and as a part of that or whatever, he went back and posted a photo of us on social media, which caused Mike Kleinpeter, who we've worked with in the past and does our labor standards, did the grant for the fire department, to give me a call. So I started picking his brain on this Okra stuff. And there is an Okra grant. And in a high overlook of it that I went at, and some of the stuff I talked to him about, it basically in a short stance, it would be a grant that we could apply for and receive based off of our current rate for 4,000 gallons of usage. We could ask for up to $650,000. It requires a 20% match. Mike's done, several of these. Matter of fact, he did statewide, he did 65 last year, got 63 funded. His suggestion is if we were going to do that, that you use the, I believe he told me the June timeframe. They do the smaller ones. I guess the couple things that we know so far is Sue's worked with at least some of the vendors. We don't have a formal, but my gut was that we were gonna, those quotes would come in over the 150 and we'd have to bid them. And the one number that we have rough is 180. So I really think you're in that 175 probably to 200,000. So we will have to, we'll have to bid those at some point. We need to utilize DLZ or somebody to help us get a bid spec put together if we move forward. I think, just for some clarity on this or whatever, and I think if I reach out to him, I could get Mike to zoom in on like one of your next meetings or whatever, and you can bounce some questions on that. The question I had for Sue and the question I have for Mike that I don't have an answer on is what's small. I know that the funding is based off projects over $1 million and under. I was sure we were going to be under, and that's where I get to 650 number. What I'd like to hear from him is what is he talking when he's talking these smaller projects? Because I think undoubtedly there's probably other things with that are also 25 years old and reaching their max. So what I would kind of like to know from him is, in our odds of getting funding, are we better to just ask for the VFDs, which would be similar to what we did with the one he did for the fire department, where we had multiple things listed, but then he went in and said if we only asked for, I think it was air packs, wasn't it, Josh, that that our odds was better. So I think we want to weigh that and also weigh, maybe there is something else that we could put with that. I mean, the underlying thing is they have to be replaced, so funding or not, but I think it would be worth hiring Mike to do that grant at some point and just figuring out with him a little bit on how we should stage that as far as, I'm assuming a bid spec we'd bid out, and we're gonna have to have a hard number to submit to them, but we're gonna have to make sure that when we get that spec and that number, that it gives us enough time to know what our response is one way or the other and go. So that would be my thought on at least that one, is that we would at least attempt to do that.
So for my poor old brain, what are BFDs?
They're basically, they're on all of the large electric motors, and what, I'm trying to generic it up. What a VFD does is, if you take these large electric motors and they don't have that, they take an incredible amount of electric or energy and it hammers hard and they rev up hard. Where with the VFD, it's kind of like when you get in your car, if you went out here to the corner, most of us would easily accelerate and we get up to 55 miles an hour. And that's basically what those would do. In turn, what we don't do is you don't come to the corner and nothing's coming and you don't bat the car to the floor. Well, you might sometimes, but in theory, you don't. And I mean, I guess that's the simplest way I can do it. What they do is they prolong the life of the motor. They make it less hard on the motor. It takes far less energy grid to start that motor and then bring it up to operational. So that's.
How many of them are we looking at?
Any Sue?
9, I think there's 9 of them. We have all the rotors, the blowers, and then our pumps, the raw sewage pumps. All
Yeah.
have one.
Does that include our pits that are around our pumping stations? Are those the same
No,
way?
those
They got a
don't-
different
don't
pump?
get-
So that would be, and like I said, in looking at, I guess, that piece. So that would be my thing is, I feel like Mike's the expert and I'm sure that there are some questions and I think it would just make sense. And I think if I phone him, he is more in central to southern Indiana. I'm sure I can probably get him to Zoom on. I mean, he'd probably drive up if I really asked him, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't make a lot of sense to have him spend
Yeah.
6 hours on the road to do a meeting, but I think he could clarify some of this and then we can move forward from there on doing this. It would be my suggestion.
I'm no genius, but I'm betting that, by putting those on, they pay for themselves over several years of.
Yeah, and they're on there now.
Electricity,
It's just a matter of the ones that are on there have lived their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in clarity within these, like Sue said, I mean, if they were to fail, the motor would, what they're operating would still function, but again, it's gonna take a bigger power, to do that. So that's what I was able to find out on that piece of it. I guess the next one I looked at was more for Mark and these lead lines, and I'll touch on this one a little bit, and then I think we've got some more homework to do on that. And did some talking with Andy. So the funding that's available for the lead line replacement is through SRF, and there's two different funding things. There is the ability to ask for up to a $750,000 grant, which basically does not have to be paid back. And then there's also a $750,000 0% loan that you can ask for through SRF. We should be able to qualify, I think, in a brief conversation with Andy from DLZ, I think for both. The caveat in these that you have to get around is that if you get both of them, you get $1.5 million. Mark wouldn't do any of the work himself. We bid the work out. But the caveat in this is to get this money, and when you take this money, you have to agree that you're not going to charge the homeowner anything in cost to install the line, and you have to replace the line from the main into the structure, into the home. Which is basically what we were going to do anyway. The piece of the puzzle is with Mark's numbers. Mark, when I talked to Andy and they've done these loans for some other areas, I think Mishawaka was one he said, they're factoring them in kind of a worst case scenario at about $15,000 per connection, which means if you got the 1.5, you could do 100. The caveat in that is Mark has about 225 of those to do. So, but clearly what we do is you'd have them do the most difficult ones. Some of those that Mark's got left in that remainder are stuff where, like, on a lot of the roads that we've done, we've replaced the part that would tear up the road or whatever, and we're in right away, we're in a grassy area, and now Mark's got to go from the grassy area to the home. So clearly those are not going to cost $15,000 or whatever. But again, the caveat's going to be is when that money runs out, whatever's left to do, we're still going to have to fund at 100%. Because of what we've done. You can't go in and do the first 100 for free and then tell everybody after that that there's not. But I still think, in my mind, I think it's worth exploring. And I'm kind of in the same place with that one. I think this is one with Andy and or Mike and or both. But again, that we get them in, and whether that's part of a meeting or a work session or whatever, I think there's a lot of pieces in this. I no way am trying to sit here and tell you that I'm an expert in how this works or what it does, but I know from doing the other ones that there will be engineering pieces that we'll have to put in place. I'm assuming with the SRF, it probably means something with a PRE again, and and other pieces. So I think you need to understand what those pieces will look like as well. And then you can make a decision as to whether you want to pursue it that way. And if you don't, at this point, I know Bill and I, we had met and Mark, and we kind of drafted up some stuff, or began to draft up some stuff, thinking we were going, to create fees and stuff like that. And we put that all on hold once I found this. So if we decide that you don't want to pursue this, then we're gonna need to move back on that. But that would be my suggestion as well, is that I reach out, to Andy and Mike and try and coordinate something for them, whether it's part of a regular meeting or you want some type of a work session or a special meeting for them or both of these, and then make some type of decision on what you want to do, or if you want to do moving forward with both or either one of them. It's entirely up to you, but there is, I guess what I'm saying is you'd ask me to see if I could find money to do those, and there is monies available. Just
Well, I
whether or
think
not
we
we
should
want to
do it.
pursue those avenues.
I think we should do it as a work session. But that's just my thought.
And I can try and see what I can try and compile some dates, and maybe we can get, both of them either here or by video to do that, to get back with everybody and see how that works to the, to everyone else's schedule. I'm assuming just based off what we normally do, maybe I can try and get something, if it works for them on a Monday that's not a board meeting. It seems like the Mondays work kind of the best for
Or
most
even if we
everybody.
did an hour before our meeting.
You could, yeah, and we could absolutely look at, I can try and do something. I think you've got, is it 2 meetings away? We've got an executive session, but beyond that, I could try and set something up on one of those nights before. And that's probably going to give you enough time for them to hit on some highlights. So I'll see what I can get put together for you on those.
What's really bad is that they're mandating this and then not giving us any way out of it. For some small towns, this would be the death of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Now a million plus, we got 120 that we're gonna have to do on our own.
yeah, and I
There's
don't.
another
and I mean,
million and a
and I
half.
would- You would absolutely defer to Mark. I mean, at a minimum, what you're looking at, that I looked up from talking to Mark, I know the company that Mark likes to use for, and I'm assuming that the ones that maybe we bring back in-house and we do ourselves after these guys are done, that Mark would want to bore those lines from where he's at in. We now know that in the past, there were times where we could bring that gentleman in, and if they were close in proximity and didn't take a lot of time, we could get 2 of them done for that $1,000 pop. That doesn't exist anymore. He charges $1,000 period for each one. So you're gonna be at a minimum of the 1,000. Most of the material we've already bought and paid. So, the ones moving beyond that, you're gonna be Mark's time and labor, or Mark and his staff's time and labor, in the thousands. So I don't know if,
I'm just looking at it, that's the easy part. The
Yeah.
ones we've already done, and we just bore from where we've stopped
right.
into the house.
Right.
Those are the simple ones.
And those are the ones.
Like I'm
in my
looking at
mind
my
that you
street.
say, that you wouldn't-
Mine's a heavy street because it carries a lot of weight, so you're gonna have to go clear out to the middle of that street, dig that all the way clear to my house,
Well, and the
and
kid,
then replace all of that, and that's just one on that street.
right, and that's why that number's so big, is because these are all inclusive. So if you tear it, from what I understand and talked to Andy, at least on the front end, that this will cover everything. If you gotta remove the street as part of that service and you get the 1.5 between the 2 of them, you can use those funds not only for the line, but whatever it takes to replace that line in it. And so it would cover replacing or fixing the street and those things. And like I said, I think that's the purpose of having this and asking those questions and making sure that everybody understands, to the best of the ability, how this is gonna work. And then simply, that's your call as to whether or not you want to pursue it that way. And if not, then I think, Bill and I need to get back with Mark, and we need to move forward with kind of how we piece this together. If we were doing it all.
To me, it would make more sense to do all the ones that you have to tear the street out, do the 100 of those. And leave the easy ones, the $1,000 ones, that we're gonna have to do anyhow,
Yes.
because
Right, and that's. and
We
that would
do
be
the easy
plan.
ones,
I
and
mean, I
then-
think you would, in my mind, you would have the contractor do the most difficult ones. I'm confident that Mark can go through that list and knows which ones, are going to be the hardest to do and which ones are gonna be the easiest. And then when you put that, I mean, if you get the money, you put that in a bid, and basically, I'm assuming we would kind of list them either in, if we can, in, you know, in blocks of a street, or we may have to go even into specific addresses, you know, replace.
And that would still be over a 10-year period.
Well, I mean.
What would
we'd
be
have
the
10 we'd have
timeline
10
for
we'd have
this
10 years to do
million
it. I mean, I
five?
don't think if you brought a contractor in and you get this money, I don't think you're gonna give them 10 years, you know, to burn through that money. They're gonna bring in crews, and I would anticipate you know, if that does 100 or 120 homes, they're gonna knock those out in a year or two, I would think.
We looked at this as also a way to get way ahead of schedule. We've got 10 years to do it. And by doing this, we knock out the 100 hardest ones, and that puts us way ahead of schedule and get them all done.
Are they still gonna be allowed to opt out?
No,
So there's no.
there would be
you
no
get it whether
reason
you
to
like
opt
it or
out.
not.
Yeah, why would you want to opt out? You're getting it for free. I mean, that's my opinion, but these are really good questions that we ought to ask the guys that know the answers to them instead of the ones that are guessing like me.
Just asking.
Yeah, I'm just guessing.
That's my job.
Yeah, my job is to guess. My best guess is no opting out. We're going to tear the street out, and we're going to do every unit through there.
Jeez.
Well, but it'd make no sense to let someone opt out because it's $15,000 plus that they'd have to pay, and they'd tear our street up after we just put a new street in. So, I mean, those are questions for Andy and them, but that's the way I would view it.
Man, I can't see tearing out Michigan Street, and not just that street alone would be 1.5 million.
Well,
If you tear that out, put new water line in and run everything across to everybody.
That's why we got to get the list from, you know, Mark, hardest ones first, and then, you know, we'll give them all 250, but it'll be on a list. Hardest ones at the top, easiest ones at the bottom. Go through this list and do all you can do.
Sounds like a winner.
Okay, I will.
Maybe in a few years, they would come up with another million,
Well,
1.5.
And that's exactly what Mark and I said. If we get this done, we're going to be ahead of schedule anyway. While we're waiting, we can keep applying for different funding sources.
Heck, yeah. All right.
I will try and get that set up then.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, beyond that, just touch on a couple other things. Starting this Wednesday, Paul will be here for the repave of the parking lot. I kind of laid out how that's gonna work, or how I believe that's gonna work. I mean, my big question is, and my brain wasn't thinking when I talked with Grok or whatever, is I'm assuming that we'll work Monday, even though we don't work Monday because it's a holiday, and so that's a wonderful thing. I've already talked to Jeremy. It shouldn't impact much of anything. The first day they're gonna mill everything. We'll still, I mean, be dusty, absolutely, but we'll be able to get in and out without any problem, and they will with fire trucks and vehicles. Day 2, which is Thursday, we'll be setting with prep. There's some areas out front that have some asphalt that won't have asphalt anymore, and a lot of that will be spent in behind the building where we've never had asphalt, and we're putting asphalt, getting that compacted and ready to do asphalt. Then Friday, and that's the up in the air that he hasn't given me a definite on. We'll do half the parking lot, and then either Monday or Tuesday, they'll do the other half of the parking lot. I talked with Jeremy when they do their half. Brock has told me that, you know, if we have to get something out, they'll get it out. But talking with Jeremy, I think what we're gonna hopefully attempt to do is, you're probably talking 6 or 8 hours that they'll be paving that day. Is we'll get the truck staged somewhere else. We'll get guys to take gear home or whatever that could possibly respond to stuff, you know, during that, or they can probably get into Gideon, but I think we've got in place some thoughts on where we can set stuff or whatever, so that if they get calls and runs, they can do it. In the same token, I think Jeremy's talked with the others so that, you know, if we have to use some mutual aid, then we'll have to use some mutual aid, you know, for a small window. But it should be done to the point where by probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, they're going to be out of here anyway. Bring all the trucks back inside, and, you know, move forward from there. And it's like he said, if they have to get something out that we put in there and it makes any marks or scuff, as long as the asphalt is still warm, they can roll it out and fix whatever they need to fix. But ideally, I'd like to not, both of us, you know, when I talk with Jeremy, I'd like to not have to do that if we can avoid it. So, and I think we can. I think we've got enough drives around us and some different stuff. We get a little creative, we'll be all right. And get a parking lot done. So
Do we
that
know
one,
how far down they're going? Are they gonna put a good base underneath there?
yeah, they're planning to mill down about probably mill out 3.5, 4 inches, something like that, and then they'll create their base and their surface, which is probably more than you've got right now. And have had
Well,
forever.
that's why it's busting up so bad.
Yeah, so, yeah, so that is coming,
It'll be good to get it done.
yeah. Yeah, and we're working with, and I put in here, we pretty much have the fundable, or the participating part of High Street put together. We met this last week with Mike and DLZ. That's looking like that portion of our estimate's about 1.1 million. So now we're working on, after the meeting, and what Mark gave him in water that's in that area, and Sue with the sanitary. Sue used our new camera and shot video of the entire sanitary sewer, so we were able to give that to them to look at, to see what we think we need to do there. So hopefully we'll get that buttoned up, and then we'll get that submitted to NDOT before the 31st, and hopefully get funded. You had signed stuff with the Title VI and ADA. I've got that submitted to NDOT. We've got a response so that we can prove that it was there. The response said that they're reviewing it or something to that effect, which is pretty normal. Lori got that the new version posted on our site, so we'll be in compliance for that. I redid my ERC certification last week, so we're good in that aspect for those. And we're working through some of the remaining fence issues with DLZ on the South Water Tower. Hope to get that resolved. So I think that's the bulk of what I had there. There is a couple things that have come in since I did this, just so that that if you guys haven't seen, I believe I was going to go by and didn't get there. I believe they started doing some of the ground and earthwork on Curtis Park today, and they're clearing and stuff over there. I didn't get by, but I think the intent was to start that today. From what I understand, if you haven't seen up there, you finally has gotten back on the old Econo Motel, or what's remaining there. Most of at least the house portion, and now has new windows in it and has part of the siding up. So that's finally making some progress there. And then I've got another one that Bill and I talked about this a while back. We have and now this older, unfortunately, this older lady has passed, but there is a home that's located at 704 North Walnut. It's kind of a double lot in a house, and there's a barn and a garage behind it. Well, if you look at it, probably been there since the early 1900s or whatever, but the barn itself was built in such a manner that I'm going to say, when I try to measure on Beacon, the back 28 to 30 feet of this barn actually sets on town property. It butts up into property that's part of where the road used to go in, where we used to have like the bins for recycling and stuff like that. So now it's a son that's trying to finish this up and sell it. Well, he's never going to be able to sell it the way it says. My suggestion would be, if you're good with that, and we have Bill start working on it, is that what you would do is you do a consent to encroachment, and you establish the encroachment in such a manner that if he sells the home to anybody else, that the encroachment passes with that, And you'd also put a provision in the encroachment that says that if the barn is, is removed by choice or has to be removed because it's no longer structurally sound, then the easement vacates, and then they would have to, if they chose to rebuild, that they'll have to rebuild and make setbacks. I mean, it doesn't make on the south side where the road is. I'm sure that it doesn't even make the south side setback, and it clearly doesn't make the rear setback at all. But it's never going to be able to be bought by anyone unless somebody's gonna cash buy the thing, without correcting and fixing that. And I think that is the easier way to do it. I'll defer to Bill. I'm assuming you're gonna have to get that document and probably gonna have to get someone to survey that and create some type of a legal, I'm assuming you're gonna want in that consent bill, or am I wrong?
I can do it without a legal, but I'd prefer one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's where that's at, but I think that's the approach to do. I mean, another option would be,
Be a
create a
bad
legal
neighbor.
and sell somebody a piece of dirt, or
Yeah.
tell him he's got to tear the barn down if he wants to sell it. I mean, I guess those are all options, but I think the consent to encroachment is the proper way to go. And like I said, if you look at that, I can't go back all the way. I did look at some assessor cards or whatever, and it appears that the home itself was built in like 1928 or whatever. So that barn may very well have been there. It almost looks like the part that's built on us came as like a second thought, as an addition to what had initially been there. I don't know when it took place, but I'm guessing it's been that way for well in excess of 50 years, probably close to 100. So if you're okay with that, I'll get with Bill and he can start working on getting that prepared, and then we'll bring it to the board for then an approval.
Any thoughts there, board?
I think we need to move forward with it.
It's a fair way to go.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I just think.
We
it
want to be
needs
good stewards
correct.
to all of our constituents.
Yeah, I mean,
Stuff that was built 100 years ago, we're not gonna try to force them out, so.
yeah, and I think, like I said, the house had a life estate to the mother who recently passed, and then it's currently now deeded 3 or 4 kids, I think, or something like that. And their intent is they want to sell the house.
Sure.
They don't, and I mean, it's a double lot that sits there or whatever, so it could make somebody.
He was a good guy to us.
Huh?
He was a good guy to us.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
So I think it would make sense to get that fixed if you're okay with that.
Move forward.
Okay?
We did a motion.
I make a motion, just be clear, put me down as.
I'll second.
Yeah,
I thought
motion and
that's- I
second,
did.
move forward.
I thought you did.
I will.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Because
That's
that's everything
everything.
I got, unless you got something for me.
Anybody have anything for Mark? Bill, what do you got for us tonight? Anything that we haven't talked about?
The only thing that I have that Mark didn't cover or wasn't covered somewhere else is that we finally got a deal made with our letter that we had sent out. We hopefully, the deal I got back with Ray and I got with Lori, the deal on the table is that he'll pay everything. He'll pay half of everything within 30 days. If he doesn't pay it within 30 days, we get a judgment for the total amount. We'll put it against the real estate. So hopefully we'll turn the money over in 30 days and be done with it.
Be off our books after years and years of fighting. It's all worth it to me. It's worth it to Lori too. So.
Well, that's the only thing that I had that we didn't cover under Mark.
Okay. You guys have anything for Bill? Any open discussion?
I did remember one.
Guys, yeah.
All right, I know. I texted you all pictures of the winter banners. Do you want me to get prices on those?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you bought them already.
No.
Oh, you bought them too. So we-
No, I
Jeez.
didn't. Okay, so I'll just move on with that.
Yeah,
Never mind.
get
Yeah,
that
I
thing
thought you
bought.
were
It's
moving
gonna be
on.
snowing in 2 weeks.
Oh, we can't.
Don't even say that.
I thought we probably give them a 5 minute November now. All right, I'll move.
Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion to pay, claims.
Make a motion to. pay the,
Second.
Got a motion and a second to pay the claims. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion carried. Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
I thought they looked really good.
Yeah.
Something a little different.
Yeah. The old truck one was really sharp. I really like that old truck.
I told them.
That's the one that you were, I got a surprise for you.
Yeah, I wanted an old truck on there.
I
like that one better.
Great, yeah. Take care. Good night. Congratulations again.